The New England Patriots I said will reverse this horrible narrative. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the daily Patriots content. Don't miss out. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button. At least do one of those things so my wife thinks I'm doing something down here, right? Anyways, regardless, today, what we're going to be talking about, one of the biggest ailments last year for the New England Patriots, we all know, was the offensive line. It was like something my 3-year-old son puts together, and it's stuck together with glue, with tape that's not even meant for whatever he's making, and it's all put together. There's no foundation, there's no base. It's rough, it's falling apart. And that's what the offensive line was last year. Moving forward, we know Mike Vrabel has said one of the biggest things he is concerned with is building from the trenches out. And obviously he's done that with the offensive line, with drafting Will Campbell at left tackle, getting Morgan Moses at right tackle, and then Mike Onwenu putting him in his true spot at right guard, getting Garrett Bradbury. Regardless what you think about him, he is a great run blocking center. As well, then drafting Jared Wilson. But then the question becomes left guard. And we've talked about this. Going into training camp, left guard would be one of the hot topics. Now, there's people out there hating on the Patriots saying, listen, they're not going to be changing their narrative with the offensive line because specifically that left guard spot is a hot topic spot. Are they going to be able to get someone in there that's actually going to be able to do a good job, above average job for this offensive line? And again, we have talked about this offensive line isn't, and it is not going to be the best in the NFL. But we can all agree, and the NFL analysts can agree. Heck, my 1-year-old daughter can agree. This offensive line is significantly, monumentally better than it was last year. So that's part of the good thing. That's one thing that is reversing this narrative on the offensive line. And as well, drafting at a priority offensive tackle, left tackle, and Will Campbell, as well as getting the best center in the draft, Jared Wilson, and then bringing out other guys that can help this offensive line. Already reversing the narrative. But people still want to hate on this offensive line, again saying, hey, the glaring problem that has not been fixed has been left guard. Again, I am becoming, I feel like a Cole Strange apologist, trying to convince people he is going to be sufficient for the job. I do think he is. A lot of people were nervous when Wes Schweitzer, who came from the Jets, ended up retiring. Again, I am not worried about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think Cole Strange, much like Stephon Diggs, has that chip on his shoulder mentality, looking to prove a lot of people wrong. That is my hope. And I know a lot of people are saying, Aaron, you can't just live on hope like that. Yes, I can. Again, there's a reason he was drafted in the first round. Yes, he probably shouldn't have been a first round pick, but again, I think he still has a lot of gas left in the tank. I think he wants to prove a lot of people wrong, especially in New England, show that he is worth starting and he's worth being on this 53-man roster. And it's such a spectrum with Cole Strange because you have some people who are like, the man shouldn't be on the team, and you have other people that say, give him a chance. It's this crazy spectrum. And then in the middle, it's like people are just like, hey, we just hope he can do something. He can do something. So you look at Cole Strange. I think that is his job to lose come training camp. I think that's hands down. Moving down from there, again, we say Schweitzer, he is out. Tyrese Robinson, they brought in. Tyrese Robinson has an interesting career of jumping from practice squad to practice squad, really not doing anything. I would be surprised if Robinson made the team, to be honest, because I see more value in Jack Conley, who's out of Boston College. He's a guy who has played left guard. He's played right guard. He's also played tackle. He's played a lot of different positions. He was a great undrafted free agent that the Patriots picked up. And I think he has a lot of value. For sure, he's a practice squad guy. I see him right now, if you were to say who's going to make the team, him or Robinson, I think Conley, I'm leaning more towards him. Sidy Sow is your safeguard now. Schweitzer, obviously out, as I said, was going to be that guy. I think there was going to be a battle. I think it was going to be Schweitzer kind of pushing Cole Strange, but I think ultimately Cole Strange would take the job. I think Sidy Sow, Layden Robinson has taken a huge step back from what it seems. He was taking reps with the low of the low when it came to mandatory minicamp, OTAs, all these different things. Now, granted, Vrabel has said when it comes to training camp, that's when that's when the big boys come out. That's when we get physical, and so we will really see. But I think City So will be that safeguard for Cole Strange. He does have starting experience, and so that is a good thing. I think Jack Conley will be groomed to eventually take over that backup role. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him as well. We can't forget Jared Wilson. Jared Wilson, again, I think it's a huge possibility that he takes over for Bradbury at center at some point during the year. But don't rule out him being potentially a guard. Even left guard, a backup left guard if Cole Strange goes down, or even right guard, who knows, because he can play any of those interior positions. But again, the narrative of this offensive line being awful, being one of the worst in the NFL, we need to all see that it is going to be shifted this year. It is going to be much different this year, especially with a new offensive coordinator, much better talent on this offensive line, and then weapons around Drake May that are going to help him get the ball out. Things are changing. And again, left guard, I do not think is a glaring problem. I think it is going to be resolved. I think it's going to be fixed. And I think we're not going to be even talking about it during come this season. I think it's going to be figured out. So that being said, what do you think? Do you think left guard, is that your biggest concern for this team moving forward? Yes or no? Comment below. I want to hear from you guys. What is your biggest concern going into training camp? Next up, I found this interesting. That's why I wanted to add it. But Jawan Bentley yet to be signed by a team. Cardano, we know that Cardano is on the Dolphins now, divisional rival. Jay Jones and Weiss are on the Commies. And then David Andrews has retired. Salute to you, David Andrews. Thank you for all of your help with the Patriots throughout the years. But the former captain, Bentley, is still not signed. We know last year, season-ending injury, the torn pectoral was not great. And the question becomes for him, is he just waiting for the best opportunity? Do people not want him? People think he's washed up, too old, injury prone. But my question to you is, where do you think he will end up? And Stephon Gilmore, it's a similar thing. Obviously, Stephon Gilmore is a little older, but I think that a lot of times these older guys are just waiting for the best opportunity. And let's be honest, if you are not with a team, then you don't feel guilty not showing up to OTAs, which is voluntary, or you don't have to go to mandatory minicamp or any of these things. You don't have to do any of that stuff because you're not on a team. So you're able to train your own way with your own trainers that you're connected with, all these different things. And so for some of these vets that are waiting on teams, I think that is the best case scenario for them. Hey, I'm going to wait training camp. Something falls in my lap. Someone's going to take an opportunity on Bentley. The question becomes, who will that be? Who do you think? Comment below. Would love to hear from you again. What do you think about the left guard situation? Is it a glaring problem, or do you think it's figured out? And I think people are blowing it out of proportion. Do you think the offensive line narrative has shifted? It is no longer horrible, and people are going to be proved wrong this upcoming season. What do you think, Patriots Nation? Comment below. Again, if you have not hit that subscribe button, we'll talk later. Peace.